On Wednesday evening in Umuahia North local government area of Abia State. According to report, Mrs. Onyechi Ekechukwu and a young man identified as Izuchukwu Okechi were adopted around Umuala near the proposed federal housing estate along the Umuahia Uzuakoli road. The kidnappers reportedly contacted the community shortly after the attack and demanded a ransom of 10 million naira. But what happened next changed the story completely. Youth from Ohuhu communities reportedly mobilized almost immediately. Armed with machetes, clubs, and hunting dogs, they entered nearby bushes searching for the victims while shouting their names. Under pressure from the search operation, the kidnappers reportedly abandoned the victims and fled. Now, this is where the story becomes even more concerning. This is reportedly the third failed kidnapping attempt in Umuahia recently involving suspected Fulani herdsmen, according to the witnesses and the victims. And many residents are beginning to fear that the attackers may be studying the terrain, testing response times, and attempting to establish operational footholds within the area. At this stage, authorities have not officially confirmed whether all these incidents are connected. However, the pattern is becoming difficult for residents to ignore. Then comes the incident in Ubokolo, Benue State, along the Ubokolo Aokbe Road in Obuku local government area. Some travelers were reportedly kidnapped. Again, of course, this incident happened regularly in Benue State, and again, local youths mobilized quickly. According to reports, the three suspected kidnappers were apprehended during the rescue operation, and the victims regained their freedom. A relative of one of the victims alleged that the suspects were Fulani. So one thing is certain, that communities should not continue waiting for the government to come to their rescue, because over time the government has continued to fail, right? So you see this particular incident in Umuahia that we've talked about, the one that happened in Amakama or within the Olokoro axis, had always been that the community mobilized fully, including this particular current one, to chase after these kidnappers who fled after trying sensing the multitude of people chasing after them. And this is the real danger authorities must pay attention to. When criminal groups repeatedly attempt operations in the same region, even when they fail, it may suggest persistence, planning, and adaptation. Security experts often warn that early failed attempts can sometimes be reconnaissance missions, testing routes, escape routes, communication systems, and community response strength. If proactive measures are not taken quickly, such groups may regroup, reinforce, or return more sophisticated weapons and logistics. That possibility is exactly what is worrying many residents in Umuahia right now. Because the truth is this: a community should not have to depend entirely on youths carrying machetes and local hunting dogs to confront suspected kidnappers. That is not sustainable. While the bravery of these youths deserves recommendation, security management cannot be kept permanently in the hands of civilians. There is an urgent need for visible intelligence gathering, forest surveillance, strategic checkpoints, rapid response units, and stronger collaboration between communities and formal security agencies. For now, residents are celebrating successful rescue, but beneath that celebration lies anxiety, because failed attempts today could become deadly successes tomorrow if warning signs are ignored. The question now is no longer whether these threats exist. The real question is, are authorities responding with urgency this situation demands? Because the government of Abia State should ensure that these bushes within Omahia are combed, so that these guys can be fished out and dealt with permanently once and for all. Because this is the third time that they have attempted and failed. Probably the next one they may succeed, because gradually, like I've said, they may eventually get to work trying to reinforce, get more weapons to ensure that, for example, there is the kind of gunshots that the villagers or the people who are pursuing them might have heard yesterday, and they will be scared, right, to go further, not knowing what will happen. So what we are saying is, in essence, is that government shouldn't let these things slide. This is the third time in the same Umuahia. The same Umuahia. The first one was family that was about going into their farm, their pig farm, and these guys also came with guns. By God's grace, the man escaped, alerted security, and they fled. So I think these things shouldn't be downplayed, and that is just my take on this.